Hi guys, welcome back to another timeless reading for Tuesday, February 4th. Uh, we're pulling from the Disney Villain Tarot deck. This is another awesome deck. I feel like, if again, if you're like into Disney and, you love those kind of, comes with a great guidebook. It's one of those decks you can invest in. Amazon's a great. I believe I bought these. I pre-ordered them from Amazon. They got delayed a couple times, but it was worth the wait. The only thing I would say about this is it's a matte finish, so it's harder to shuffle. And I know everybody has different opinions when it comes to that, but I find it harder to shuffle with these. So you really gotta have patience with it and play with the cards a little bit. You know what I mean? To get them a little bit loose, so that way when you shuffle, they're not all sticking together. So the channeled card, this is why I pulled from this deck, was the Nine of Coins. This was something that's been standing out. This particular card has been standing out for a bit. So represents material abundance. You're finally reaping the rewards of your hard work. Now you have everything you need. Set yourself up for sustained success by maintaining your wealth carefully. So I do definitely get like this kind of theme around wealth. When especially like over here with the six of coins, where this is, this time of year, the Americans do their taxes before us. Canada usually doesn't start getting, shelling out the T4s and all that until the end of the month. So, you know what I mean? So you start doing it just depending who you are and what time and what your finances look like, right? How much you have to pay to do it. So I get this where it's just like set yourself for sustained wealth, because it's just like, with myself, and I'm not trying to run anyone down or anything like that. It's just like, I knew Shane was a saver. You know what I mean? I always my love language is, buying things for people and seeing the smile on their face and everything like that. So I said, okay, let's be smart, put this aside, and I gave him enough money for like rent and bills and all that stuff for a while. And I'm like, put this away in your savings account, and then, there's, so much money we could sit there and use it towards, down payment for a house or whatnot. Obviously that situation turned out because he was doing something else with it, but anyway, that doesn't matter. It teaches you now, like, that was a hard lesson for me, where it's like I have a checking account, I have a saving account, I have a tax-free savings account. So it's just like sitting there, and it's just like, especially the winter time, you know what I mean? Like, I'm noticing my like hydro bill keeps going higher, but it's just like we're using less and less electricity. It doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? So they're just like, oh, don't worry, you'll get a tax rebate and all this stuff. And it's just like, that doesn't matter. Like, you're charging me this fun. Like, I've never paid this amount ever. It's so long. And we have a heat pump. So it's supposed to be more energy sufficient. And we haven't been using it. So I'm just like, I don't understand. Like, the only heat that's on is in the basement to keep the pipes, warm. So I'm not understanding, where, you know, it's like it keeps going higher. It doesn't make, what I mean? It's not buenoing, you know what I mean? And they're just like, a lot of people are complaining about that. They're like, why is our hydro bills higher? And they're just like, oh, don't worry, we'll fix it later. And I'm like, but you're asking for this money now. Like, it doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? Like, we use even less heat this in January than we did December, and we didn't even have our Christmas tree was on, I think, maybe once with the lights. So I'm just like, I don't understand. Like, we didn't have any big displays or anything like that, and they're just like, oh, we'll fix it later. And I'm like, well, what's the point of having a meter if you're charging us this amount? It doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? It's just like, to you it's fine because we're giving you the money because we don't want, trouble, and we need our electricity. But it's just like, why does it keep going higher and higher when we're using less and less? So it's like, someone needs to answer that. Like, why are you putting more, like, we're using less electricity. It doesn't make sense. We have the Judgment card, elevation. So I've been getting a lot of channel numbers, and someone I did a reading for, they had like a certain planet come out, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, right? Like, because this has never happened with her before. So I feel like, she's elevated to a level where it's just like deeper understanding, right? And I got a channel message, I believe it was in December, that said get knowledge. And I was just like, okay. So I knew something was going to come up where I'm going to be on a deeper level of learning something new. So, I shared that with you guys yesterday. So the channel number was 2323. So all of a sudden I started seeing Jupiter. And with 2023, there was a picture. And I'm like, that looks like Jupiter. So I sat there and I'm like, okay. So, I put it on there, and then all of a sudden it's like Jupiter has gone direct. I saw on a page that I follow. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And I'm like, wow. And 23 is tied with Jupiter. So I shared that with everybody. I'm like, hey, like if you have a moment and you guys want a deeper understanding of things, and you know, what Jupiter represents and why this energy or this number keeps coming up, it's like because they're trying to send you a message here. Like again, getting knowledge, like getting a deeper understanding. We may not have time right now in that moment to sit there and look at it, but it's just like, maybe when you have some downtime, or you know what I mean? I feel like it's just like, again, like another deeper understanding where you're getting these channeled numbers, channel messages, vivid dreams. It's like because your level of understanding has elevated. So with judgment, that's what they're saying. Pay attention to the signs. What are you being called to? What is being like more brought to the forefront of you? So channel numbers, certain planets, because we have the what do they call it, the parade of the planets right now. So it's just like all these different things that are, they're telling us to get grounded, to meditate. It literally was Groundhog Day yesterday. You know what I mean? So it's just like with us, we had flurries consistently all night, and then it stopped. But it was enough for us to go out like 3 times and, clear up everything. So it's just like getting out in that fresh air. Like, you don't think by going outside that's grounding, but even though you have like your boots on and everything like that, you're in the earth's vibration. You know what I mean? In that type of weather, you're getting the cool air. You know what I mean? Giving, oxygenating your blood, because you're outside. If you shovel, you manually shovel. Even if you push a snow thrower, it's still a workout. But it's sitting there and it's getting your blood flowing and everything like that. So that way, where I was saying like I was doing that reading for someone and it was just like a lightning bolt caught in a room. It kind of reminds me of Monster High when Snap. When electrified, when they had to sit there, I'm gonna cry. When they had to sit there and come together and bring Frankie back to life. I know I'm such a baby, but it's just like, you know what I mean. It's like to have that kind of friendship, and I was never like everybody else, so it's just like you get that with Monster High if you're familiar with them. It's just like everybody's unique, celebrating. There's still bullying in there because people are buttholes, but a lot of the time they were showing it's because they're insecurities or they wanted to be a part of something that the others were a part of. We go to the 6 of Wands, so on the right side of truth, you will be the victor wearing the wreath. With Wands, it's all about like that rebirth energy, but it's also about like your intuition and everything like that. So following your intuition, seeing positive signs, like that's why I love Christy Howard and Lovely Mimi, because it's just like these are real people that, not to say nobody else is, but I feel like a lot of people, it's just like, by accident they kind of come across this kind of stuff. Some of them should have lost their following. You know what I mean? Like but obviously like we are all human. We make mistakes. You know what I mean? But it's just like you have real people that's like I've been hustling. Like you see me now. But you didn't see all the work that I put in a long time ago when, YouTube wasn't such a huge thing. Now everybody hops onto YouTube because they're like, oh, you can make money from it. You know what I mean? It's just like, you see where you're putting in the work. And sometimes it doesn't feel like it's going anywhere. But, like, that's where the universe, that's why I feel like this Judgment card comes in. And it's just a quick reminder, even though we don't see things happening and like right in front of our eyes, it doesn't, there negate that the fact that there is a lot going on in the background. I posted that the other day, I think it was like 2 days ago, where it's just like, they see where you're putting your energy into, and the universe is going to take care of the rest. It depends who you believe in. Yahweh, Yeshua, Gaia, Mother Earth, divine, creator, your higher self. You know what I mean? I never sit there and try to push my beliefs on anyone else. Like, if that's something that resonates with you, you know what I mean? Like there's, the Lord is my shepherd, and they're saying it's either in Old Hebrew or Arabic. And I'm like, you know what? I don't know what language it is in. That's not what the point is. It is the message. It is the way that they are singing the hymn. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's so powerful and so moving, and, it stirred something in my soul. And I listen to it twice a day because it speaks so much to my soul. I sit there and I play it before work, and I play it before I go to bed. Not to say you have to do that. I'm just saying there was a reason why that came across my path. There's a reason why it stirred something in me, and that's what I'm talking about. Certain things will come across your path that will stir something in you, and this is why I feel like Judgment is here, is saying, maybe your vivid dreams. Like, the person I read for, I'm like, you're going to have to force yourself, and, they actually did show action card there, Door to Spirit, where she has to put a little bit more work in, and they're saying like, and especially her, because she works so damn freaking hard, and she's pulled in every direction, and I feel like that's why it was like this lightning bolt caught in a room, and it's like bing, 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 bing. You know what I mean? Kind of like ping ball, but it was just like, she's pulled in so many directions, and I feel like this is like, when she gets her sleep, I'm the same way. When I'm asleep, just please let me be, because it's just like, I do everything for everybody, and I do my very best. It's not perfect, but I show up whenever I can, and there are times where it's just like this Saturday, I was just, that was it, recovering from the flu, taking care of the kids while they were under the weather, trying to get the house back into some sort of order, because things were kind of put off, and it's just because we were under the weather and the holidays and everything else. Like I said, I like to sit there, clean out the fridge, and do a really nice once over, the stove, the microwave, everything like that. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's not because I have to do it or it needs it. It's just like, for me, it's like if I do it twice a year at certain times where it's not too hot, you know what I mean? Especially the winter time. You know what I mean? It's just like, just like maintenance. You know what I mean? Just keeping it kind of, I don't know. It just makes sense in my brain. I love the Ace of Cups. I love the heart coming out. There's three. We always get a lot, like the mind, the soul, the body, the spirit. The Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. I love the fact with Ace of Cups, it's just like your cup runneth over. But I feel like in this, it's just like, don't overlook love that you have constantly in your life. I feel like with the Ace of Cups and the Five of Cups in reverse, it's like concentrate on the things that still make you happy. You know what I mean? It's just like, plans for today. I had to sit there and, shovel out the end of the driveway because, they had come, everything that had fallen over at night, they push it into the driveway, and it's just like, it's a big flicking stinking mess you have to clean up. But, luckily enough, I shoveled the end of the driveway, so it's not so much, it's just like, I keep on top of it. That's why I do so much all the time. So I'm not doing all of it at once, and it's like, breaking my back. I just, did it before work. I did it during my lunch break. And then, I was like, it's tapering down. If it's anything, I'll do it in the morning, and I'm feeling it today. That second shovel really was a lot more than I expected. But you know what I mean? I feel like it's just like concentrating, like, your if you have children or loved ones in your life, your fur babies, things that put a smile on your face. It's just like, a lot of us, overlook, and my son teaches me that all the time. It's just, you know what I mean? Because sometimes it slips your mind. Not every morning, I always try to start off my morning, being thankful. Even if I get up multiple times a night because I drink water through the night, it's just like, thanking Yahweh and Yeshua, for watching over us, protecting us while we sleep, keeping us united as a family, for allowing us to hear, see, breathe, think, feel, like, the things we overlook, because, we are one of those families that have gone through a significant loss. They're like, by definition, the hardest thing. I don't want to put that kind of jazz out there, you know what I mean, because it's just like, some people will wish harm on you, it's just the truth of the matter. But it's just like, that's why they tell you not to post so much. You have a lot going on, blessed in your life. The whole world don't need to know it, because there's going to be a lot of people that will try and push a negative narrative there, but that's what I loved about when the Ace of Cups came out, is like love. And then the Five of Cups came out, and it's just like, with us coming up to Shane's 8-year passing at the end of the month, it's like, yeah, we could concentrate, and we, there are days, like I said, my son showed me that video. I completely forgot about it, I try to not, you know what I mean? His picture's everywhere, but I try not to go down that road a lot, because it does make me sad. You know what I mean? Like, the smell of his shirts, and the kids wear the same deodorant as him and stuff like that, so you smell it's just like those certain smells and certain things really do trigger you and bring you back to those memories. And it's just like, it's hard, especially because it's coming up to, it doesn't feel like 8 years, and it feels like 8 years. You know what I mean? It's like, I can't believe it's been 8 years, and how much we've, things have changed and transformed, especially when I was like, that's it, I'm not, you know what I mean? I refuse to, sit there and just throw everything away and, and give up on life just because this has happened. You know what I mean? Like, I will take my time to heal and recover. I feel like anyone that has gone through that kind of journey, when someone that is like, I felt like someone blew a freaking cannon through my chest. You know what I mean? Like, I just felt like there was a big chunk of my soul gone, It's like when you go through that kind of loss, it's just like, and I know it's a temporary separation. Like, I know in hindsight, but you know what I mean? It's like when you want to just sit there and hug people, you know what I mean? He was my person. So it's just like, even if we ended up just being friends, and we, I would always have love for him. You know what I mean? Like, if he ended up, but they showed me. They're like, even if he made it through and got stints, it's just the way that he was eating. He loved to eat, he loves food, but it's just like, there's that history of cholesterol and stuff like that, it's unfortunate, but and I feel like some of us, this time of year, or you know what I mean, coming out of the holidays, or like, maybe coming up to like Valentine's Day, because this is the time period you can't help but play, you know what I mean, there's certain things that happen through that period before he passed, and events and stuff like that, and it's just like, you know what I mean, it's like you try not to concentrate on it, but it's like you can't help but get kind of triggered when certain dates come around. They're showing the Ten of Cups. So again, this is like one of the most positive cards you can get. That's why, again, concentrating on happiness. I feel like there's a duality here, and I feel like it's shadow and light in us, especially this time of year where it's just like they're saying it's 6 more weeks to winter, and it's like that shadow light side. It's like, the sun's been breaking through all day. It's been gorgeous. You know what I mean? Like looking at the big fluffy clouds and everything after the storm last night. And it's just like, sitting there, and it's just like enjoying the day. Maybe not everything is where you want to be in life, and it's just like, at the end of the day, it's like being grateful, because a lot of people would pray for the situation you're in right now, so it's just, that's where they're saying with the Ten of Cups, it's like, an absolute yes, multiple generational family, with fur babies, like a home. It's just being happy and content, you know what I mean? And if you're probably like myself, like if you have children, it's just like, you wonder what, they're going to do and how they're going to come about things. But I feel like it's just like you rob yourself of your happiness right now, It's just like, filling your day with poop. And then it's just like, it'll affect you. So I try to, my son always says that, like, we finished, making burrito bowls, and he's just like, don't be thankful to, don't forget to be thankful, thank Yahweh Yeshua for the food. He did this all on his own. This is nothing I've never pushed on them. When they thank me for things, I always say thank Yahweh and Yeshua. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like I'm being used as a vessel, you know what I mean? When over here with the cards, like the Queen of Cups, I feel like, because that's how they know you are, you know what I mean? You sit there and you are the type of person that pours from your own cup to, because you like to see that kind of happiness, and you know what I mean? But I feel like that's where they're saying, like, be mindful, like this is the channel message here. There may be some sort of like unexpected money coming in here for some, or unexpected taxes. I feel like tax money, but maybe there's something more there. You know what I mean? I keep getting knockings of this. If it happens, it happens. Like, you know what I mean? For me personally, with this situation, I was like, I don't feel comfortable with it. I probably wouldn't take it or accept it. You know what I mean? But it's just like, they're saying they would want you to have it. You know what I mean? With no harm to none, including myself. You know what I mean? You don't want that type of, you know what I mean? It doesn't do anything. Trust me. But it leads to the sun. I love the fact that they're saying like an absolute yes with a 10 of cups, happy, life. You know what I mean? It's just like Ace of Cups, love. 5 of Cups, concentrate on happiness. 10 of Cups, you know what I mean? It's all this bright, beautiful things. I feel like leading up to spring, you know what I mean? It's just like I'm already doing like, landscaping, like in my head. I'm sitting there, I'm like, I want to get this done. I want to get this done. You know what I mean? One major thing, but they keep saying no to it. So it's just like being patient and let that, reveal itself, It's like, because it would make a difference, but they're saying no, so we'll see what happens there. But the sun, it's like, like I feel like you are the sun to a lot of people. You know what I mean? I feel like you are this big ball of light. You know what I mean? I feel like it's just like keeping that ball of light. A lot of people may not understand it. A lot of people may try to dim it. They'll sit there and try to poo-poo on your parade because they know it affects you. You know what I mean? And it, let it affect you in silence. Sit there and don't give them the satisfaction allowing their BS to affect you. Just sit there and keep pushing forward. You know what I mean? And I know like all of us have those honey to-do lists, in our mind. Me, I just, if I need help, I will ask the boys for help. But you know what I mean? It's just like, trying to get things done with us. Unfortunately, we went under the weather. You know what I mean? We had the flu. So it's like, trying to get those things done. And, in my mind, I could see like moving this over here and getting this done over there. And, you know what I mean? It's just actually getting it to fruition. It's just like, having the time, especially with snowstorms right now too. It's kind of harder because you're tired, to get that done. Readings have picked up. So it's just like, you know what I mean? It's take it as it comes. But you're seeing a lot of this happen. Even with the Six of Wands, is seen as a significant, like as the universe, your loved ones. They're showing it from the Enchanted Forest. Not Enchanted Forest. The Dark Wood Forest. Maybe I'll pull from that tomorrow if I have time. But, I'm trying to do this as much as possible. It's not that I'm trying to, like, you know what I mean? It's just because I have to catch up with readings and, you know what I mean? I have people coming in now. It always happens like that. One person gets a reading, then everybody wants to come in and get a reading. You know what I mean? So it's just like, like I said, you have the honey to-do list and then things come up, But it's just, again, where they're saying with the 10 of coins, it's like, I was watching this TikTok last night and this woman, the poor guy was sitting outside and said he had no food. She went inside. She got him, a loaf of bread. She got him meat. She got him cheese. She's like, you need to eat. You're like, you're on, you're, out in the cold. She's like, I'll go to the car, get you some mittens. She goes, I don't have a coat to give you. She goes, but I have mitts in the car. She was giving him her own mitts, and he ended up giving her $10,000 because he was just trying to see who would help him. And she ended up going out into the people that were on the streets, and she knows there was a district area but I guess she worked for the school board or something, and she's like, I'd like to buy coats and mitts for these kids, because they need it. Unfortunately, the parents can't afford it, and I feel like that's where we should be giving back to. Like, I just had something pop up on my For You page on Facebook, and it's talking about like a situation that's right in my backyard where unfortunately there are people that can't afford rent and they keep raising it. I'm like, well, who's paying for this? Do you have like 6, 7, 8, 12 people in one place? You know what I mean? And it's like they're in the woods. And I'm like, we're celebrating all these monuments and this and that, and it's like we should really put that in the forefront. There's no way that they should be living in the woods. It's cold. You know what I mean? No one deserves that. Everybody deserves to have a roof over their head. I understand there's sometimes mental health issues and there's addiction issues, but it's like, let's treat those problems. You know what I mean? Have a sober living area. You know what I mean? And you abide by the rules, you can live there. If you don't, unfortunately, sometimes it's until they're ready to get the help that they need. They need to admit it to themselves. We have the Hermit. Again, I feel like this energy, like remember how yesterday we got the High Priestess? I feel like knowledge coming out, but I feel like this is like, with the light, it's like the universe is shining the light on certain situations. You know what I mean? Maybe it's things that we are overlooking. They're talking about that duality. With the Queen of Cups, it's like, yeah, you give from your cup, but remember to sit there and look after yourself. Not to always give. You need to replenish. That's why people try to make me feel guilty because I take a day to replenish. And it's like, I am go. I'm sitting there all week, go. And I try, again, like I try to do timeless readings wherever I can. I'm catching up to readings as well because I got, the flu. I'm back. I have a waiting list. So it's just like, some days you have to sit there and it's like, I can't pull from an empty cup. I refuse to give someone a reading when I am not a 120 billion%. I am not going to sit there and waste their time or energy or my time and energy sitting there doing a reading that's poo-poo. I refuse to do that. You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't feel comfortable doing that. So it's just like, I have to recover, kids have to recover, but, I'm getting readings done wherever I can. And if people don't understand that you need time to recuperate, they always talk about, this one person, oh yeah, they had to do. So it's like, why is it different when I have to do it? You know what I mean? Like, why is there this, like, kind of like negativity or negative innuendo where it's just like, I need a day to recover too. I'm not Superman. You know what I mean? As much as sometimes I wish I was. You know what I mean? Or had 8 arms, like, funny enough with, which is so fitting with Ursula with the Queen of Cups because it's like she has all these tentacles, right? She has her 2 arms and then she has the tentacles. And it's like, sometimes we wish we had more than our 2 arms. You know what I mean? Like, I can't remember what I was doing. So, like, you can hear I still have something in my chest. But it's just like, I'm like, I wish I had more arms, but I don't. Like, my hands were full. I can't take anymore. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I can't remember if I was moving something to the kitchen or whatever, but I also had like my winter coat in my hands and something, and I'm just like, can you give me a second? Like, you know, but just sit there and that's where you have to sit there people will always take if you let them take. You know what I mean? A lot of people will feed off of your energy vampires. Your light. You know what I mean? There they go with the sun, with the light. It's like people will sit there and try to make you feel, the Five of Cups make you feel in this dark energy because that's how they feel. And it's just like, you got to sit there and remember to put yourself first, to fill your own cup. Yes, you are the Queen of Cups. Doesn't matter what the gender of the cup is, but it's just like when we talk about like the feminine side, you know what I mean? It's the nurturer, the giver. Very Empress energy. We had the Emperor and the Empress. You know what I mean? That union. But this is where I feel like a lot of the cards were showing this dark and light kind of duality when I was shuffling through the cards, and I was like, yeah, I feel like people are struggling. You know what I mean? Because the sun is, like, look at the sun. It's like illuminating the room. But it's like at the same time, it's just like, sitting there and kind of prioritizing where it's just like, you know what? I can concentrate on what's making me upset. With the Five of Cups, it's, 3 are usually toppled over and 2 remain standing up. And it's like, instead of concentrating on what makes us upset, it's like where you're sitting there and we're concentrating on what brings us happiness. When they're saying the 2 remaining cups, and it's like, sometimes you have to find those little nuggets in your life. And a lot of times, like I said, like, when you wake up, the fact that you woke up that morning, and a lot of people are like, you know what I mean? Fine. Those are things you look over. If you overlook the trivial things in life, how are you going to appreciate the greatness that comes in your life? You know what I mean? The fact where we were, and so I don't like to think about it again because it makes me sad, but where we were, sitting there donating all of our things, sitting there and rehoming our fur babies and, packing up our life and as we knew it and, into the unknown. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's just like, in this time of the unknown where things are kind of working in the background more than the forefront, take the time to rest and rejuvenate. Maybe there's projects in the house you want to get done. At this time of year, honestly, nobody wants to do anything. Everybody wants to put their feet up and relax. A lot of people are getting prepared to go on vacation. You know what I mean? So it's just like finding those sweet moments in life. Sometimes it's far and few between. You know what I mean? Maybe because you're struggling and you're going through, depression or you're just tired. You know what I mean? But try to sit there, I know, even if you sit in your window, like, and you open the curtains and the sun's shining like it is right now, sit there with your, if you wear glasses, take your glasses off and just sit there with your eyes closed to your face to the sun. And just let that beautiful warmth come in and the vitamin D. You know what I mean? Because sometimes that's all we need. That's why everybody goes on vacation, to get more sun, to get that warmth. You know what I mean? So put on a warm sweater, heated blanket, and try to get that warmth in. Sit there and try to bring in that positivity wherever you can. So some of my spring flowers are beginning to bloom. Some of the bulbs are too big, so I gotta transplant them. But you know what I mean? Sit there and try to bring things into your life that make you happy, to look forward to. In the next 6 weeks, we're all gonna be complaining, oh my gosh, now it's all the yard work we gotta do. You know what I mean? So it's just, look for things that put a smile on your face. Do little things for yourself. They're showing going for a tanning bed, you know what I mean? But I don't know about those. If you go for things that'll, maybe the red light therapy, it would be better, than a tanning bed. I don't want anyone getting any sort of skin cancer or anything like that, God forbid. I know they have a negative, part with that, but it's just, do your due diligence, do your research. If you're prone to have, skin cancer and stuff like in your life, just stay away from that. But put your sunscreen on and stuff like that. Maybe go outside, maybe go for a walk, even if it's just a block. Even if you go, like I did that. I was struggling and I was like, I'll go, the property that I had was a triplex and nobody lived on either side of me. So I was in the middle and I just walked around once. And I'm like, do it again. And it was cold. It was dark and cold. My face was frozen stiff. And I just sat there and I did it 4 times and I felt a hell of a lot better. There's just something in my brain that just needed fresh air. So it's just like, that's why if you're able to sit there and get out and do activities, go for walks, especially on days like this, it's like, take in the sunshine wherever you can. Make the most out of life. It may not look exactly like you wanted it to, and it's hard to see where things are going to unfold, Try not to think about those things. I'm just as guilty. You know, how is this going to happen? It's not our job to worry about the how. Universe, Yahweh, Yeshua, Divine Creator, Gaia, Mother Earth, see the hard work you're putting into certain situations. They will flourish and they will take care of the rest because they see what you're trying to work towards, with no harm to none. And they're seeing it with the beauty and light you're trying to bring into the world. So with no harm to none, just sit there and keep being this, keep being the sun, keep being that light for those around you, and you will see how magical, how things just start unfolding for you, in the most magical, wonderful ways. So I hope you guys enjoyed this timeless reading. May the universe bless you good. We'll see you for the next one.